What's up, everybody? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm your host, Robert Durden, and this episode is about how the Democrats, progressives in the Senate, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders, if you can even call them progressives, are pushing some good legislation, but it's going to fail because they suck at their jobs and are completely ineffectual. So I'm going to go after them because their ideas are good, but their execution is absolutely shit. So this is about how there are certain Senate Democrats, and it was not just Warren and Bernie, but it was also Cory Booker, Ben Cardin, Debbie Stabenow, Tammy Baldwin, Sherrod Brown. There was a couple others as well, wrote a 2-page letter to Joe Biden insisting that he lower the Medicare age. So if you guys don't know, the eligibility for Medicare in this country is 65, and of course Bernie wants to make it 0, but said later on, once it was pretty clear that he wasn't going to be president, or once he had dropped out actually, that he would like to get it down to something like 50, and that's what he would push for Joe Biden. So now they are pushing to lower the Medicare age, but they have no leverage on Joe Biden, so this is going nowhere, and this is exemplary. This exemplifies exactly how the left always operates when they get in there. They will browbeat and they'll yell on Twitter and they'll scream to the rooftops about how they want progressive policy, and then what they end up really doing to get it is they write a not even strongly worded letter to Joe Biden. And they give him a bunch of facts in this letter, and I'm going to read it to you real quick. I'll tell you what Joe Biden's going to do with this letter. He's going to crumple it up and wipe his senile ass with it, because you guys don't have a fucking thing on him. So he's going to make his address to Congress tonight on his new upcoming families bill that this would have to be included in, and methinks he's not going to say a fucking thing about lowering the Medicare age because you guys are useless at your jobs. So I'm going to read it to you guys. Quote, lowering the eligibility age for Medicare would help millions of uninsured and underinsured older Americans significantly. 27% of adults aged 50 to 64 are not confident that they can afford health insurance over the next year, and more than a quarter report issues with navigating health insurance options. You know how much Joe Biden cares about that? Not. He doesn't give a fuck if those people die. So I don't know why you guys are appealing to his human side. He doesn't give a shit. He's going to wipe his ass with this, but I digress. And more than a quarter report issues with navigating health insurance options, coverage decisions, and how their choices will affect their out-of-pocket costs. That's because Joe Biden's ACA is an esoteric piece of shit. They wrote it like that on purpose to swindle old people and everybody else because no one can understand it. But what do I know? I'm only a doctor who's worked with insurance for 6 years. Researchers have found that there is a massive spike in the diagnosis of cancer among Americans who reach the age of 65 that could have been diagnosed much earlier if the Medicare eligibility age had been lower. Lowering the Medicare eligibility age to 60 could expand Medicare coverage to 23 million people, including 2 million uninsured people, while lowering it to 55 could give over 42 million people access to the program, and lowering it to 50 could cover 63 million Americans. And at this point, here's what Joe Biden's doing. He's going, the peon said what? Lowering the Medicare eligibility age is not only the right thing to do from a public policy perspective, it is also what the overwhelming majority of Americans support. According to a recent Gallup poll, 65% of Americans support lowering the Medicare eligibility age, end quote. And again, what makes you think that's going to work? That sentence. Does Joe Biden, is he in favor of anything that the majority of Americans want? He's nominally for getting out of the Afghanistan war, allegedly. But is he pushing gun control rights, common sense gun control? No, he's not doing that. That is 90%. Medicare for all has nearly 70%. Free public college, over 60%. I mean, I could go on and on. Joe Biden doesn't give a fuck what the American people want. So this is toothless. You're giving data to somebody who doesn't give a shit about data. You're trying to feed him empathy to an apathetic person. And this is what they'll always do. And then after he wipes his ass with this, they'll go, well, we sent him a strongly worded letter to tell him what we thought about lowering the Medicare for all age. Fuck you. Bernie, Aren't you head of the Senate Budget Committee? Didn't you say when we were supposed to vote for Biden because you told us to, that you were going to have a lot of power that you were going to withhold some things and hold up some bills and gum up the works on things that the Biden administration really needed to pass? Weren't you going to wheel and deal? Didn't you say that it was important that you stay in the Senate and have that head of the budget committee position because you would wield an enormous amount of leverage? Where is that? I don't see it manifesting as dick. So this is utterly frustrating because, of course, it's the right thing to do. And you know what? If you framed it in a way that Biden could understand, it might actually work. But Bernie's not willing to go in there and say, listen, you said you would veto Medicare for all, which is at minimum 65% issue, and now you're going back on even lowering the Medicare eligibility age. If you don't do this, I'm going to shine the world's biggest spotlight on how you reneged on everything you campaigned on, and specifically healthcare, and I'm going to tell everybody that they made a mistake by voting for you instead of me. Now, Bernie won't ever do that. He's too nice, which is why he lost twice, because he's too nice, and why he probably would have been a not very effective president, if you want to be quite honest. I thought he was willing to fight the Democratic establishment a little more. I was wrong, but I'm okay. I can admit I'm wrong on this show here. So this is super frustrating. When this addressing of Congress goes out tonight, I hope I'm wrong, but I bet you Biden says absolutely fucking nothing about lowering the Medicare eligibility age. And if he does, it'll be from 65 to 60, which that's the smallest victory in the world, but I'll take it. But methinks he's going to take this strongly worded letter that all you progressives sent to him, and he's going to wipe it and flush it. So that's what we've got in Congress now, guys. We've got a bunch of nutless, ineffective, unstrategic jerks that will do absolutely the bare minimum to grab headlines like they're actually fighting for something, like AOC tends to do, but they'll get fucking dick done. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, you don't have to believe me. Have the progressives gotten anything done for you since they got in office? Have they gotten anything done since Biden got in office? Has Bernie gotten anything done since he became the head of the Senate Budget Committee? Useless. They're all fucking useless. And I just saw that Cori Bush went on CNN and basically like proved that she doesn't even understand how to vote as a bloc. Like, I forget who asked her a question, was like, why don't you guys do exactly what the, blue dog Democrats in the Senate like Manchin and Sinema are doing and just hold up bills by voting as a bloc? And she goes, well, I can't speak for the other people in the squad. Then why are we fucking calling you the squad? You're the squad. You want to be called the squad, but you don't want to act like a squad. You don't want to play like teammates. You're obviously not helping each other or talking to each other or trying to do anything for the people. So this is extremely frustrating, guys, and I'm going to keep shining spotlights on how the progressives don't get anything done because they're not fighting when Democrats, neolibs, have the White House. They just roll over and die. Bernie's included. All of the squad are rolling over and dying, and they're acting like Biden's doing way more than he is, while all of us are dying during a pandemic and a depression and, suicidal ideation and diseases of despair are off the charts, particularly in younger people, but they don't give a fuck. They're writing strongly worded letters to the president that he's going to absolutely ignore. AOC is reintroducing the Green New Deal, but not actually fighting for things and not actually trying to publicize it whatsoever. She's like under the radar trying to put it out there so that later she can go, hey, I tried to get the Green New Deal done, but what do you want me to do? I can't. Yeah, because you're not fighting for it. You're not trying to publicize it enough. Take the debate with Marjorie Taylor Greene and use the publicity from the debate with her to promote your Green New Deal stuff. But you're too dumb to do that, and you're also probably too dumb to even debate Marjorie Taylor Greene. God, it's so frustrating. So I'm kind of breaking the sixth rule of Fight Club right now. I'm losing my cool a little bit. I apologize. But this is the type of stuff that irritates me to high heaven, because if all that you guys are going to do is write strongly worded letters about lowering the Medicare eligibility age 5 years, you're almost useless. You're almost useless. God. So keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. I'll do at least one more episode later today. We'll see you.